Hello, my friends, and welcome back. As many of you probably already know, the Azovstal um, steel plant in Mariupol, is over. The fighters surrendered, the wounded surrendered, the civilians were evacuated, and the only humans remaining in the catacombs of Mariupol, Azovstal, steel plant, are the commanders, and the commanders and people who refused to surrender yet for unknown reasons at this point. Uh, the reason why I'm saying unknown reason is because obviously all that is lost. They have nothing to fight for over there. Actually, there is not a military objective that the Russians need, because if you have 50 people trapped in some catacombs, that's not a big deal. Surround them and they will be starving there, or do other hanky-panky stuff, when you're alone with some other guys trapped. Who knows, maybe they do something other things, not hanky-panky stuff. Nevertheless, I don't know what they're waiting for. I posted a video yesterday with these commanders saying that, one of them saying that that something some operation is underway. He didn't provide details. I do not think that there would be a prisoner swap or something with the Russians. I think those commanders value for the Russians more than the whole guys military that surrendered during the past, I don't know, week or so. Let's put it this way. But we have here some some information from United Nations and Red Cross regarding the prisoners of war. Sometimes these guys are so naive, but let them be. So this comes from the Hindu, and this is from the 20th of May, 2022. And this is the title. Ukrainian troops surrendering at Mariupol registered as POWs. Well, registered by them, by probably United Nations, but not by the Russians. All right, so the fate of hundreds of Ukrainian fighters who surrendered after holding out against punishing attacks of Mariupol steel factory hung in the balance Thursday amid international fears that the Russian may take reprisals against the prisoners. You think? I hope it doesn't happen. The International Committee of the Red Cross gathered personal information from hundreds of the soldiers, name, date of birth, closest relative, and registered them as prisoners of war as part of its role in ensuring the humane treatment of POWs under the Geneva Conventions. Amnesty International said in a tweet that the Ukrainian soldiers are now prisoners of war and as such must not be subjected to any form of torture or ill treatment. That's per Associated Press. Well, I hope, but you see, who has the authority to label them? That's the point. It's the same thing with elections in Russia, in Soviet Union, to be more specific, when Joseph Stalin's time, when he said, well, let them vote as long as we count the votes. So the same here, let them register them as Martians if they want, or I don't know, who knows what. We're going to be the last ones who will determine what group they belong to. You know why? Because they got the guns. And since they got the guns and they got the power, they are the ones who are going to tell you what to do. But they don't get that far. But that's how it works, and it will always work in this world. Who's got the guns will win. Of course, more guns. I mean, all the pretense of civilization and we're good and we have rules and all that crumbles if one has a gun or has, the manpower. So let's say you have an economic a country very well developed economically, if it doesn't have an army, anyone can take over that and make it its subject. So that's the main thing in the world. We're still animals, and we work by the basic natural instincts that we have: aggression, power, dominance. These are still there. We try to tame them under our civilized laws and traditions, each country with its own. So nevertheless, these guys, the Mariupol Azovstal steel plant fighters that who surrendered, yeah, there will be POWs by this name, date, relatives, and so on. This, okay, social work over. Let's go to the serious stuff here. So that, not the social work is not, but these guys are just going to take the names and blah blah blah. And the Russians say, okay, now let's see who killed who. Let's see what ideology you have. Let's identify who are you actually. Open your mouth, talk a little bit. Oh, you can talk. Okay, Ivan, let's go, Davai, come on, do something to this guy. And they will make him talk. That's the way it's going to work. And they will find more than even the subjects know about themselves. Because that's how it goes. When you torture someone, that person is going to give you more, more than he knew that ever knew about himself, which means he's going to exaggerate. He's going to tell you whatever you want to know. If you tell him that, hey, is it true that you're coming from Zimbabwe? Yes, I'm coming from Zimbabwe. Is it true you were born in, I don't know, Costa Rica? Yes, I was born in Costa Rica. They will say anything you want them. Obviously, that's not reliable information on the torture, but nevertheless, out of that, then you're going to try to get the truth if you want. And in this case, it's going to be a propaganda step where you interrogate these people and they say anything you want them to say, and then you use that for political reasons with the mass media. Like, for instance, I'm pretty sure the other side is doing too. They opened some court procedures, some trials against some Russian 20-year-old young man that he confessed that he is a criminal and he committed war crimes and so on. If you take any of you or us and you put him in front of an interrogation team for some time, I'm very inclined to say that a big majority of us will confess anything those guys want us to confess. That's how it works. So nevertheless, that's why when you hear, oh, he confessed, under what circumstances? Under what circumstances? And that gets you with the mind of at the Nuremberg trials. Read a little bit how those prisoners of war were treated and how they were interrogated, and then what statements they made under what kind of pressure. If you would be subjected to the same treatment, if you get arrested here, for instance, in the United States, all the testimonies that you provided with a signature under those circumstances will be thrown into the garbage can or garbage bin. But nevertheless, the victors have the power. The same here. The Russians have the power. They will do whatever they want with those soldiers or people. Unfortunately, this is war and it has its horrors. And the Red Cross and all that will be sent home when these guys will say, oh, now you go around here. We're going to talk with these specific people here. And UN or Red Cross, bye-bye. Move on, see you later in 5 days. And if we need more time, we're going to call you when we need you to come and talk with these guys, or we will provide you with the information these guys provided us under the circumstances. So yeah, it's a tough time for people, and sometimes you wish that you were not alive in these kind of circumstances. But the Russians would say, no, we just applied international law, and we interviewed slash interrogated these people, and they willingly told us this and this and this. So, all right, nevertheless, so these are prisoners of war, and they will be subjects of the Geneva Convention. Yeah. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.